Continuing with our initiative of parenting series, I would like to ask Aarti about how do we help parents who have their child perpetually complaining about friends not being good with them or the teacher not being happy with them, or this is generally a very complaint box. How do we handle that?
We need to understand that children complain when they are not able to solve a problem, or for that matter even adults, we tend to complain and nag when we don't know a way out of something. So if your child is coming back and complaining that, you know, ma'am didn't give me this, or my friends are not playing with me, or something like that, they're actually expecting you to come and quickly solve the problem for them. But what we need to understand here is the better way of working with this is to help them acquire and develop problem solving skills. For problem solving, the first step is extremely important, which is, does the child identify and understand what the real problem is? Are they able to understand that this is what I want to change? So for example, if they are complaining that their teacher is being partial, and many children like to use that, do they feel singled out, or do they feel that, you know, they're not being responded to, things like that. So what is it that the child is really struggling with is what you and I as a parent have to ask as a series of questions. We shouldn't tell them, see, I think you're feeling this, because when you rush to give them the answer, they lose the ability to understand what in the entire scenario is the problem and what they want to solve. The second step is to sit down with them and through a gentle set of questions, help them arrive at various ways in which the problem can be dealt with. So for example, if the complaint is about a friend who's not playing with them, a child wants to belong to a particular group, but the friends don't want to accept them. You may need to ask them, what do you think is the problem? Why do you think they don't want to play with you? So sometimes the child may also reflect saying, maybe I'm very dominant, I'm not willing to adjust with anyone. These kind of things could come up. So the child also gets a great understanding of what they may need to change in the whole process, and not always blame the other person and expect them to change. Now, the most important thing is the third step, where together you brainstorm for solutions. So once the problem has been identified and the child is able to see that the change could be within, or the change can be in another situation, you brainstorm together for solutions. And in those solutions, the most important thing is, children may come up with some amazing answers which may not be practical. Our role as a parent is to help them ground, help them understand what can be solved, what cannot be solved, what can be used, what cannot be used, and so on. By this, I don't mean you will cut them short and say, no, no, don't do it this way, this is not how it's done. You will need to work with the child and sort of elaborate on, okay, what are the steps that you'd like to follow here? Do you think this will work? Do you think something else can work? So in a very non-critical, accepting environment, you help the child find what the best way to deal with this is. Then let the child go and actually implement some of these solutions and come back and have a debrief, find out what worked, what did not work, and then in the end you will be able to slowly help them understand how a problem is identified, how a solution can be arrived at, and how change can be brought about.
Thank you, Aarti.